Hey everybody, welcome to the Truly Myrtle podcast. I'm Libby. It is so lovely to have you with me. I'm calling in from all the way down in New Zealand. I am the designer at Truly Myrtle and I'm also the founder of Wardrobe Toolbox. So it's so nice to have you with me. I'm going live out onto YouTube and on Facebook, on my Facebook page at the same time. So I can chat to you in the chat. So if you want to come and chat to me, join me on Thursdays for a chat. I can see you, Rachel. Actually, I better put glasses on because it's much easier to see you with my glasses on. Good morning, Rachel. It's nice to see you. Calling in from YouTube. Let's see if other people are jumping on. I can see them all come. Right, I'm going to organize myself. I have a new pattern to show you people. I know some of you have been waiting anxiously for this one. Hi, Sabrina. Nice to see you too. You've been waiting anxiously for this one. I'm going to button it up because I'm just going to pop it on a hanger so I can show you a bit more easily. It's lovely to see you. It is actually uncharacteristically warm today, and so I've had to wear not the cardigan because I've actually got shorter sleeves. Maybe it's just me, it could be me, but I'm uncharacteristically, I'm warm today. Let's just say. Hi, Stephanie. Excited to hear about the new cardigan. Yay, yes. I'm going to talk to you all about it. Hey, Barbara. It's sunny in Raniora. Oh, the house is in chaos while the double glazed windows are being installed. Oh my gosh, Barbara, you won't know yourself after that. It'd be so nice. Hi, Kim. Nice to see you. Good morning, Robin. Oh, hi, Rebecca. Hi from Melbourne. It's cool, says Claire and Kim Bolton. Nice to see you. Hi, Rachel. Nice to see you. All right. Let me see. Say hi to me in the chat. It's always nice to see you there. Okie doke. Shall we just get cracking? I'm going to be on the Skeins Diaries at 11. So I'm going to talk to you guys and then I'm going to magically leap into the Skeins Diaries over on the Skeins website because I have used Truly Myrtle yarn for this pattern, and Skeins have made it. So I'm going to go and talk to Marie over there as well. Let me have a sip of coffee. Oh, Barbara, that's really good. It significantly reduces the sound of your road noise. Oh, that's really good, isn't it? And you'll be just toasty as well. Hi, Terry. Nice to see you. Oh, thanks, Ruth. It's quite a strong colour on me. Yeah, this blue, I'd suit strong colours. Just remind me of that. The problem is that they can be very hard to photograph, strong colours. I've actually got a jumper that I've swatched and I'm ready to cast on as soon as I cast off the thing I'm working on now, which is this navy colour, but I'm dreading photographing it. It's just going to be a killer to photograph. Anyway, oh, it's nice to see you. Okay, right. I have a new pattern for you. It's great excitement. I knitted it a while ago. I've teased you with it for ages. The wardrobe toolboxes have already got it. So they got it on Monday. I've had an absolutely chaotic start to my year. A lot of the wardrobe, a lot of you know, it's just been chaos. I've been up and down the country. I've had all sorts of family things going on. So I decided, rather than just bust a gut, as we say here in New Zealand, I thought what I'll do is I will give Wardrobe Toolbox this lovely new cardigan, and then the thing I'm just about to cast off, which I could have done if I'd really busted a gut, they're going to have in August. So Wardrobe Toolbox is you lucky things. You're going to get 2 fantastic garments this season, so I'm looking forward to that. Oh, my necklace reminds me of your logo. Oh yeah, it's new. My mum got it for me the other day. It's glass, and she said she got it for my birthday, but she couldn't resist and wanted to give it to me. My birthday's not till November. So it's actually, you can't see, but it's actually engraved on it. And it's got little mountains and things on it. Anyway, so I think it's she seemed to think it was an old beer bottle. Anyway, it's glass. I rather like these little necklaces. Hey, Ruth. Good evening from the States, New Orleans, LA. Nice. Nice to see you. Okay, so the new pattern, excitingly, is Gingerbliss. And I have been tempting you and teasing you about it. You know the Ginger family. I put on my stand over there, we have Gingerbread, and she was one of the first patterns I put out. She's a lovely set-in sleeve, top down, short row set-in sleeve. You knit it from the top down. They've all got about the same amount of ease. I wanted them all to be just a little bit relaxed. Do you remember the other week we talked about finding a size to fit you? That was a video a lot of people watched, and I hope they found it really helpful. But we talked a little bit about ease in that and the difference between your body and the garment's body. Well, Gingerbread, and Ginger Snap and Gingerbliss have all got 4 inches of ease. Well, that's the design ease I put into it. So some of that is wearing ease to make it comfortable on you, so it's not skin tight. About 2 inches of that will be just to make it comfortable on you. But the next 2 inches, where it's bigger than your body, all the way round, it doesn't stick out like that, it's just all the way round, spread around, is a little bit of wearing ease. And so it just makes it slightly relaxed. It gives you a slightly relaxed feel. So if you're wanting to, when we're looking at choosing a size, and you're thinking, oh, okay, so that had 4 inches of ease. If you imagine, okay, the first 0 to 2, because knitting's stretchy, the first 0 to 2 inches is sort of just to make it comfortable. And so after that, the next lot of ease, anything up to the amount that she's wearing in the picture, that's a little bit of design ease. So it's telling me it's just a little bit more sloppy and comfortable on her. And do I want it to be like that on me? And you can decide then what size to choose from knowing that about ease. Rachel's got 5 balls of left in the Hope colour in Sport. I'm thinking of Gingerbread. I'm going to talk to you about yarn as well. So that was the first one I did, Gingerbread. And that was really interesting for me to design. I was all new to this, and I'm actually not sure that I have a full range of sizes that I do now. I don't think I did it in Gingerbread. I think it just goes up. I can't remember. Did I? I can't remember if I actually went back and did it. Anyway, there's that one. Then a lot of people, the boat neck on that one is about as wide as this top I'm wearing. And so it's a shallow boat neck. And it looks quite funky when you wear it, but not everybody wants that. So I thought, okay, the next one I did was Ginger Snap. And I changed a few things up because I'd learnt things in the meantime. And I changed a few things up. It definitely has 15 sizes. And I put a crew neck in it, which is a lot smaller. So it's a small little crew neck on Ginger Snap. And Ginger Snap I also knitted in my yarn. So that one was in blacker yarn. And then it's very similar. I felt that the correct characteristics of that blacker yarn, Tamar blacker yarn, were very similar to the Truly Myrtle yarn on the Southlander base that Skeins has. So I did Ginger Snap. I love ginger snaps, although I'm gluten and dairy free now, so I never have ginger snaps. I need to work out a way of having them where I can still eat them. But I love a ginger snap, and so I made this one. And this also has that same amount of ease. It has that reasonably relaxed body. It doesn't have quite, but it has slimmer arms, and the same as that one. So the arms are sort of tapered. They follow the line of your arm a bit more. They haven't got the bulk of, the ease isn't the same through the body and the arm. It's not a really sloppy arm. So the overall effect I quite like, because it gives you a little bit more room in the body. You can feel a little bit more relaxed, but the arm is still a reasonably slender arm. And I think a lot of people like wearing garments like that. I think my daughters, who are young and, young bodies and like to wear things that are in fashion, they wear a lot of baggy stuff. But I just prefer things. I'm very, of course, I do like some baggy things, but I also prefer things just to skim me. I like to have an illusion of a slimmer arm at there. So Ginger Snap came out. She had a smaller neckband. There's a variety of things I did slightly differently. And she has that same trademark. They're not trademarked, but it's the same family of cuffs and hems. And so she's a reasonably, she's a nice, simple jumper and easy to wear. She's got the lovely twisted rib still around the neck, and you just slop her on. But she's just a little bit different. She has that lovely hem on her and ribs, and then the nice tubular bind off. So she was next, Ginger Snap. So I know a lot of you have got that, Gingerbread and Ginger Snap. And then I thought, we need a cardigan. We need a cardigan. I want a cardigan. I hear a lot of you talking about how you want, this cup has got a huge crack in it. Sorry, I've just noticed. Look, it's got a dreadful crack. It's actually my husband's cup. I said I'm going to pinch this cup today, but it's got a huge crack, so I'll just be careful with it. He might not know. Anyway, that was an aside. I thought I needed a lighter weight cardigan. I had the Truly Myrtle yarn, which I'd already used for Ginger Snap. That's the DK version. I've got some here. I've got a ripped label on this one. This is a DK version of the red label, and so it's a bit thicker. And I thought, I want some in a lighter weight. I heard you guys talking. I know that you like wearing lighter weight things, and I thought, well, let's create a lighter weight Ginger Snap cardigan, because you wanted a cardigan and you wanted it lighter, so we combined it. So I used this weight of yarn. These are the blue labels. are the sport weight. So you can sub in a fingering, that's absolutely fine. They work pretty well together, but actually a sport weight is what it's designed for. But you could just have to swatch and see. So here she is. This is the new little Gingerbliss cardigan. So she has the same hems and cuffs and the same little round neck. And she has a similar sort of neck to Ginger Snap, but it's just a little bit more scooped, just fractionally when you're wearing her. Actually, it isn't that much because it sits back like that. But I did something quite different with this. I still had the top-down short row sleeves, but I used a variety of shoulder that I tried recently in another jumper called Alex, which isn't out yet. Wardrobe Toolboxes have got it. I wear that one. I wore it yesterday. I wear Alex a lot. I really love that jumper. And it'll be out next year. And that one I use these shoulders, these slope shoulders. And so what you do is you cast on across the top of the neck, and you do increases every row on both sides until you reach the width that you need for the back. And that will create this little wedge of fabric. It looks like that, this funny little wedge of fabric across the back. And then from there you knit straight down to the body until you start increases here under the arms. And so there's a variety of increases under the arms depending on the size you've got. And I've used a little tailored increase, and so there's a little double increase. Some have got more than others, where you just whip away a little bit more fabric from under the arm here. It just makes for a nice fit. And then I did my short row top down sleeve after that. So it's such an incredibly comfortable fit, because when you come back and you pick up the shoulder, you pick it up here. Let me just do it so you can actually see. So we've got our back. That's the back, right? That goes to that little slope that I showed you before. You pick up the shoulder along that sloped edge and you just knit straight. You can see I knitted straight for about that much. And that is my shoulder cap. And if you see that fold line, that is the center of my sleeve. That's the center of the shoulder cap here. So what happens is you're picking up over the back and you're wrapping it up and over the shoulder, the knitting, and it cups the top of your shoulder. It creates a really, really lovely fit across the top of your shoulder. You'll find it so comfortable. And then once you've done that, then you start doing you might have already started actually a few increases for the neck as you're going, but you start doing just knitting straight under the arm. At that point, you do more of your neck increases, and then you get down and you do your underarm shaping. But you end up with two different lengths. The back length is a bit shorter and the front length is a bit longer. That's because it starts over your back. Now I've tried to write it, I've fiddled around with my testers. We've fiddled around, and we've tried to find a way to describe what you're doing when you're picking up stitches the most simply, with the fewest amount of words, in the clearest way. And I think we might have cracked it. But essentially, I'm getting you to put in a stitch marker at the top. Remember that back section here? I get you to put a stitch marker in there to remind you where the top of that back shoulder is. And then you pick up the front and you have that stitch marker staying there. So then you knit this front and see that, it's really hard to show you, but see that part there? That is your shoulder top, your shoulder cap. And what I get you to do is you've got a stitch marker in that part there, because that's your seam at the back. It actually is over the back of your shoulder. It's not on the top of your shoulder. And then what I get you to do is pick up a bunch of stitches for the top shoulder cap. And then but first of all, you put in a marker. And so remember, when you're knitting it, this shoulder point where we're doing the shoulder shaping at the back, it does not sit on the top of your shoulder. It sits behind your shoulder. Okay, it's just the one thing to remember when you're doing it. I think I mentioned it in the pattern. Hopefully you'll find it much clearer. If you get stuck, just ask me, but I'm pretty sure that you're going to find it a lot, quite hopefully really simple to follow now. And so you have a marker at the top, a marker here, and a marker underneath, and you pick up your stitches around the armhole, and then you do your short row armhole. It is such a lovely fit. She's just so lovely. I've worn her a couple of times now. I photographed her for everybody on a very windy day. So that was a lot of wind happening on that day. And but you can see I've got a photo. Did I print it? I'm not sure if I did print it. Of the shoulder, I didn't. But she just cups over your shoulder. So she's a fantastic basic knit. In terms of your wardrobe, she's a really good staple knit that will just go with tons of stuff. And last week I showed you I made that little top and the little trousers to wear with her, and I just wanted, she's a bit of drama underneath, and then she is over the top, but she's not ultra plain. She just has those interesting hems, interesting cuffs, so she sort of takes on the vibe, as my kids would say, the vibe of the pattern of the outfit you have underneath, if it's a little bit interesting. Or if it's not, if it's really simple, she'll just pick it up and run with it with her little interesting cuffs and things. So let's talk about yarn, shall we? We've got a little bit of yarn for you to choose from. So as I said, so here she is here. Gingerbliss is the new cardigan, and she's in 15 sizes. So I've got a whole lot of yarn. Obviously, I've got my yarn details in there for you to find, so you can go and find yarn. I use the sport weight yarn, Truly Myrtle sport weight yarn. This is one of my colours. It's on the Southlander base, so it's got that lovely, it's just a lovely yarn. I read somewhere the other day, someone talked about Southlander. It used to be scratchy. It's not scratchy. It's really not. This is next to the skin. If you're particularly sensitive, you would find it a little bit coarse. I don't at all. I wear this next to my skin, and it's absolutely fine. She's so cozy. I've just been kind of grabbing her and popping her on. It's just a nice cozy layer. She's really easy to wear. And I use this is the Bliss colorway. So in the Truly Myrtle colors, she's Bliss. Now I hate to tell you, but the Bliss is actually sold out. It's all gone. I think some people must have got wind of the fact that I was making it in Bliss, and it's completely gone. All the yarn is now back with skeins, and lots of things are happening over at Design Spun and Skeins, but all the yarn is back there, so you can grab the yarn there. But you can't have the Bliss. I'm so sorry. This beautiful green color, at the moment there isn't any, but there is. Someone mentioned Hope. I'm hoping the Hope is still there. I haven't even checked, but this is the Hope. It's that beautiful rich burgundy color. It's one of the first ones I put out, but I thought I'd show you these two because I know two of my testers used this yarn. This is Happiness. Two of my testers used this yarn, and it looks amazing. I actually got to see one of them in the flesh the other day and knitted up. It just looked extraordinary, this Happiness color. It was such a beautiful pop of it's like a red that just wants to be a watermelon, but it's not quite a watermelon. That's how I would describe it. It's absolutely beautiful red. Hi Marina, nice to see you. And then this is the other color that I imagine that there's still some there, I don't know, but this is Clarity, and Clarity is such a beautiful clear blue. So those are two. There are lots and lots of colors. I think there's 14 colors, I think, to choose from in the Truly Myrtle range. Only Bliss is gone. But apart from that, I'm not sure what else is gone. I'm hoping there's still lots left. If you come and join me after this on the Skeins Diary, Marie can tell us what's still there and what's not. But so obviously it's designed for this pattern. It's designed for that yarn, so that yarn will work perfectly, but you can just swap it out for another yarn. So do a swatch. The gauge you need is 24 stitches and 30 rows, but remember, there are ways of making the fabric that you fell in love with work for a pattern, mostly. Not always, but mostly. So the main aim of the game, as I keep telling my wardrobe toolboxes, is find fabric you love. Don't try and squeeze inappropriate yarn into stitches it doesn't want to be. Listen to the yarn and try and make fabric that you actually love, because everything will just work better. The yarn will love the pattern will love the yarn, you'll love the garment you make. It will all work. So rather than being fixated about those numbers, grab some yarn you think will work, start swatching it, see what numbers you come up with, work out if you can make it fit into the pattern. We'll talk about that another day and how to do that. So stay tuned. But this is the kind of thing we do on Wardrobe Toolbox all the time. We work out, okay, what is a perfect fabric for me? What needles do I need for it? Now, how do I make that fit the pattern that's in front of me? Can I make it fit? Or am I really just trying to put a square peg into a round hole? And anyway, that's the kind of thing we talk about. You'll need a bunch of buttons. You'll need some stitch markers. But essentially, yeah, grab yourself some sport weight or some fingering. It's a good place to start and just have a little go. Let's have a little look. Oh, good, Justine. Yeah, you like the neckline. Yeah, I'm really pleased with the neckline. It's super pretty. Ruth said, I'm so disappointed. I bought the perfect buttons for Gingerbliss, but when I got them home in better light, they're not perfect at all. I need to remember that next time, and now I need to find more buttons. When I went to get buttons for this one, I knew that I wanted pale buttons because I knew that I had made her to wear over this outfit. And so this little top I've got it's a summery top. It's a lightweight top. It actually works quite well in this weather underneath the cardigan, funnily enough. But I knew it was lighter, so I wanted to pick up on that in my buttons. And so when I took my cardigan to the button shop and I lay it out, I actually always have to go and look in the light out by the door just so I can check in good light. But I ended up choosing these little buttons, which I think they're like horn. I mean, they could be plastic made to look like horn, but they're like horn buttons. And I think I've used them before on another garment, I feel like, but bigger. And anyway, I wanted these ones, which they're about a centimetre, 1.25 centimetres in diameter, I think. They're probably fractionally bigger than I would normally use for a fingering garment, but I just liked them and I thought they worked really well on the garment. So don't be afraid to, I'm not telling you, Ruth, you can do it you can all do whatever you like, but don't be afraid to just take a punt, because if the worst comes to the worst, you can always change the buttons. If you can save them for another garment if they're not going to work. Barbara said, there's a similar colour in the Eros sport range. Oh, yes. Now, actually, that Eros, where is that Eros? I've got it down here somewhere. I know the colour you mean, Barbara. It's like a tealy blue colour. It is similar. It's more blue than this is more green. But it is, and the Eros from Skeins would actually be a lovely match in yarn. It's also a sport weight. It's what I used for Alex. It pills like bananas. It pills like crazy, that yarn, but it's worth it. It is absolutely worth it. Just depill it. Just use a thing to keep it scuffed up like a stone, because those pills will end eventually. But in the meantime, you just keep it scuffed because it's got quite a lovely fluffy halo to it. It's the one with it's got all sorts of things in it. Possum, and hasn't it got possum and alpaca and merino, and it's what is it? It's eucalyptus or something. What do they call eucalyptus when it's made into fibre? It's like a rayon kind of thing. Anyway, that's a vegetable fibre in it instead of a silk. So it's got beautiful drape. It would be scrumptious in the Eros. She would be really scrumptious. So you could try that. So what else do you need to know? People who are on my mini mag, you'll get a discount for this pattern tomorrow. So jump on my mini mag if you're not on it already. That is where I put my discounts out. So you'll just need to go to trulymyrtle.com/minimag to sign up. And there you'll jump on my mini mag. I will send out emails over the weekend. So if you don't watching this later and you don't get tomorrow's email, I will send a couple more over the weekend with the code in it that you need to get a discount. I'll have a 20% discount. And I think what I'm planning to do is to put a 20% discount on all of these 3 patterns, on the Gingerbliss girls, on the Ginger girls. I think that's what we'll call them. I think we'll put a code for all 3 of them, so you can grab any in the range that you want. Wardrobe toolbox people, don't forget you already have the pattern. Please don't buy it again. I will make sure I mention that in the email tomorrow as well. But you got it on Monday, so you can go and grab it already on the Wardrobe Toolbox website. And yeah, the rest of you can get it from tomorrow morning. It'll be available. So what else was I going to say? I've talked to you about the shoulder shaping, which I love. I'm definitely using that again. I absolutely love it. On the last page, I've got a whole bunch of abbreviations for you, like tons. There's tons of abbreviations. Lots of people miss the abbreviations page, and I get lots of questions. We get emails about, how do I do this stitch? And we say, have you looked at the abbreviations page? And they haven't. So go through to this first, and it will tell you how to do all of the stitches in the pattern that need abbreviating. And the other page that I talked about the other week that is in my printed pattern, it's also in my PDF, it's in the download, is the sizing page. So this gives you the schematic of the garment. We've talked about ease. We've talked about your size versus the size of the pattern, and I give you finished measurements. Now that means I give you the measurements of the cardigan itself, not of you in relation to the cardigan, It's the cardigan. This is how big the cardigan measures. When you hit the gauge and you knit the particular size, this is what all of these measurements detailed at the top, this is what they all are. They're all listed down here in inches and centimeters. So when you're choosing a size, the first thing I want you to do is measure yourself, because if you haven't measured yourself, you have no idea who you're knitting for. You could be knitting for the neighbour for all you know. Knit for you, and so find out your measurements. You want to know your upper bust measurement, and if you're confused about how to choose a size based on your upper bust, go back to a video I did about 2 or 3 weeks ago called How to Choose a Size, and you'll find it on my blog if you go over to trulymyrtle.com/blog, and you'll find it on YouTube, and you can find it on Facebook. Go back to that and then figure out how to choose a size, but you'll need your upper bust measurement, and then once you've got that and your arms and you've do a bunch of measurements, then come into here and say, okay, well, I want to choose a size that gives me a bust circumference of about X. I want to make sure my arm is about Y, and then I might want my hips to be Z. So I want you to go through and find measurements, and then if you need to blend sizes, then blend sizes. And that's the other thing we talk about a lot in Wardrobe Toolbox. How do I get from size A to size B to size C in my pattern, which happens so often for people because we just have regular bodies, and regular bodies very rarely fall into one of those sizes unless you're prepared to have a bit of bagginess or tightness in places, and you're happy with that. You might find that if you're like me, you dot all over the sizes. I certainly do with my sewing patterns, that's for sure. So the other thing I wanted to point out was in this pattern, I have got a measurement for upper bust, full bust circumference, and I have got a measurement for waist. And someone asked me the other day, why don't patterns have measurements for hips? And they do, where the hip is different from the bust. But in this case, the hip and the bust are actually the same. And so we just have the measurement for the bust. We don't have the measurement for the hip as well. So if you see there isn't one, you could double check in the pattern. You could take the stitch count at the hip and then divide it by the gauge, and that will give you the measurement. But more often than not, you'll find, certainly in my patterns, that the bust measurement is the same as the hip measurement, because there's just really no difference. It goes in at the waist because there's beautiful waist shaping in it, but then it will come out again to the same measurement at the bust. So if you're someone that has fuller hips and you want it to go out further, then you'll want to figure out how to get from size whatever you are to a size up between your waist and your hips so that your pattern fits. And so you'll just need to get to the different stitch count. It's the easiest thing to do is to get from size A to size B, and that way you know the pattern at the bottom will fit. Gosh, I've given you an awful lot of information. It's like I'm trying to cram a whole lot of Wardrobe Toolbox into one half-an-hour session. But if you really, really struggle with this stuff, or you just want to learn more, or you just think, oh, actually, I you know what, I'm sick of knitting things that don't fit me. I just want to knit something that fits me and feels good, and I want it to fit my body, and my body's changed and I don't even know what's happening anymore. Or you're just thinking, actually, I've got, things are always tight on my bust or my shoulders, everything's too big, or whatever it is. You should come and join Wardrobe Toolbox when the door's open, because this is exactly what we do over there. We have so much fun talking about this day in and day out, and I know from what everybody says that they are getting so much out of it, and people are making stuff that they love and they fit them. And I can look at someone who's right here in the comments who told me that the other day. So it's really good. It's really, really fun over there. But the door's open in September. Okay, everybody, have you got any questions? I think that was all I wanted to tell you. Oh my gosh, there's more comments. Let me just go down. Hey, Amanda. Amanda says she used Dreamfire's new organic sport weight merino. It's such a gorgeous, soft, squishy yarn. And they'll have it available at Wool Feast next weekend. So it's not this weekend, is it next weekend, Amanda? So Dreamfire's organic sport weight merino. There we go. That would be lovely. And Barbara says I second that. I'll just talk to you quickly about yarn and the thing that it does, because the yarn I used is the same. You know, I said first of all I did the blacker. It's a heritage breeds, these sort of rare breed sheep, blacker British breeds. It's the Tamar yarn. It was absolutely beautiful. It was a little bit rustic. Then I did it with a ginger snap, because I thought, well, the ginger snap really reminded me of that. It's sort of I just used to describe it as a farm yarn. It is a little bit more rustic. It's not It's not merino soft. It's not cashmere soft. It's a little bit more rustic. It's not rough, but it's definitely got guts. I was going to say it's got a little bit of pizzazz to it. This yarn, right? It's got a little bit of get up and go, and so this yarn is also the same, but it's finer. It's a finer yarn, so it has a little bit more drape to it, and it's just. Yeah, I love it, but it isn't a polished yarn. If you're after something to give you a really polished finish, if you want to wear this to work or you want to wear it to an event that isn't a barn dance or a family barbecue, then you might want to choose a yarn that is a little bit softer and smoother. So think about merinos and think about, oh, thank you, Barbara, yeah, tencel. Think about silk merinos or just straight pure merinos that they'll pill, remember. You could also think about using a superwash yarn. This one is not superwash. This is an absolutely, as it comes out the sheet kind of yarn, which I love. But superwash has its place, and superwash would also give you quite a crisp finish. It would give you a very smooth look. It would really give those bands some pop. And so you could think about going off into that direction as well. But play around. You just need to do a tiny little swatch to see what the yarn is knitting like. What do the stitches look like? And then when you've found one that you quite like the stitches, then start having a play on a bigger scale to get your gauge swatch. But you don't have to go big at first. 3 colours of Truly Myrtle South into Sport. What do you mean? 3? Only 3. Let's hope there are more than 3, Andrea, of Truly Myrtle Sport are in stock at the moment. Okay, we'll talk to Marie in a minute and we'll find out what's going on. Oh, flip. It looks like the brighter. Oh, because you know why that is. That's because the wardrobe toolboxes have had at it already this week. That could have been what happened, and so the wardrobe toolboxes have gone and enjoyed the Truly Myrtle. They got a special discount on it, so they might have enjoyed themselves. But I think that Marie might have a special for you. I think she'll talk about that at 11. It's not on. I don't think it's a Truly Myrtle yarn, but I think it's something else. So we'll go and talk to her about that. Claire said, I got gorgeous buttons for my Gingerbliss from Linnet Fibre to Go. Yes, you did, Claire. They look absolutely lovely. Yes, it's called Carolina. Okay, what's Carolina? Okay, I'm a loss now, Terry. I obviously rambled about something. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you. Tanya said, I fold the abbreviations page in half. Okay, like this. Maybe you fold it like this. And I pop it in the clear side on the... I pop it in the clear file on the adjacent side to the side I'm working on. Oh, that's a really good idea, Tanya. So you don't have to keep looking it up. So she folds it like that. And then she slides it into a folder if she has her pattern printed out and in a folder, and she pops it in there so she doesn't... Oh, I see. So you put your pattern in the folder, and so it's always on the right side facing you. And then on the left side, she slides that in. So she's always got the abbreviations, and she can move it as she moves through the pattern. That's a really good idea, Tanya. Christine says, how much ease would you recommend for a regular fit of a sleeve? Okay, part of it will depend on what you like. I like about 2 or 3 inches. It will depend a little bit on the weight of your yarn, because don't forget that your yarn thickness will eat into the ease. So I have got some fingering weight garments where I think I used 3 inches for this one, for this Gingerbliss. I think it's 3 inches of ease. I think up to 3 inches, 0 to 3 inches, you don't really notice that it doesn't look like a baggy sleeve. Let's put it that way. If you have 0 ease, then it's like the sleeve I'm wearing now, right? It totally fits the fit of your arm. So if you're going for 0 ease, you'll want a stretchy fabric like I'm wearing. This is a stretch knit fabric because you'll want to be able to move in it, and you don't want to feel like you're a sausage stuffed into sausage casing. Don't choose something smaller than your arm. You will find it will just be uncomfortable. But if it is very, like my Timely cardigan, it's a very stretchy fabric, and so having it 0 ease at my arm worked perfectly fine because it was a bit like this. It just fitted just comfortably on me. So the yarn will depend on the yarn. So if you have very fat yarn, you need more ease. Very fine yarn, you can get away with less ease, but also the stretchiness of your fabric. I have got a couple of one of my favorite fits of garment that I've got are my 2 yoked fingering sweaters, my Floozy 2 and my Wave Crest, and they are basically the same shell in terms of size, and they have 3 inches of ease at the arm on me. Excuse me, I have to have a big sip of my coffee because I'm getting a bit coffee. Yeah, so they have 3 inches, and I really like that, and that's a fingering. So this one has 3 inches, and it feels slightly slimmer on me. I like it, but it feels slightly slimmer. And the reason why it feels like a slimmer sleeve is partly because the yarn is just a little bit thicker, just a little bit. But if you think it goes all the way around, just a tiny bit thicker, so it eats into some of that ease. And second, it's a different yarn. This is not, I mean, it has a reasonable amount of give in it because it's knitting, but it doesn't have quite the same as those fingering yarns that I used, which were both superwash, actually. No, they weren't. I think one of them wasn't a superwash, but it had silk in it, and it had, so it was a really slippy sort of yarn. It had nice bounce in it. There was my Floozy 2, and my Wave Crest was a superwash. And so it just had different movement in the yarn. And so that, yeah, so they just feel a little bit bigger. If you go above 3 inches, I think you start to feel like you have a fuller sleeve happening there. So 4 or 5, whatever. But it depends, because if you do a really, really fat garment, like a bulky garment, and you put in 4 inches of ease, it's going to feel like 3 or even 2. But it's going to be a reasonably slim fit on you because the yarn eats up so much of the ease. Hopefully that makes sense. Oh, Barbara, Wardrobe Toolbox has been a game changer, she says, for the fit of my knitting. Yay, that's really good. Oh, good, Kim. And Kim highly recommends Wardrobe Toolbox. You guys are so kind. But it's really good, isn't it? It's really fun. I have learned so much as well. It's been a fantastic experience. And the community is lovely. I find that people stay because they're learning a lot and they're getting some success in their garments, and they also stay because it's so fun. It's so nice in there. People are so lovely. So it's a really good environment to be part of. Tamsin says, I love my new Gingerbliss knitted in my sport weight Grace. Oh, yes, you use the pretty Grace, Tamsin, because Tamsin tested it for me. It's a woolly yarn that smells of sheep, says Tanya. Woolly yarn that smells of sheep. Oh, Carolina. Oh, right. Okay, is that what it is? Yeah, I agree, Terry. I think it would look great in the Eros yarn, and it's a good price. It's a really good price, these yarns. They're not break-the-bank cardigans. You can actually, they're a good price from Skeins. Sandra says, how do you join Wardrobe Toolbox? So the way to join, the doors open twice a year, Sandra. They open in March and they open in September, and everybody comes in at the same time. Some people join for we run in, I call them seasons. They're 6-month seasons. Some people join for the whole 6 months and they pay up front. You get a discount if you do that. Other people just pay month to month. You join for as many seasons as you want. There's a lot of people that have been there since season 1. We're in season 9 now. It always have new material. There's always things to talk about. There's always guests we have. So you can join at the beginning by paying up front, or you can just join month to month. You can leave it any time you like. If you've signed up for the whole 6 months, you're in for 6 months. You don't have to look at it, but you're in. And then the doors open again 6 months later. So the way to find out about it is head over to wardrobetoolbox.com and have a little read about it there. You can jump on the waiting list. If you're on my mini mag list, which you can find at trulymyrtle.com/mini mag, I'll put links under this. All these videos have links under them, so you can go and click those later. Then if you're on my mini mag, I'll tell you about it there too. So there's different ways of finding out about it. But I will let you know when the doors open. They open for 10 days. They'll open on the 18th of September. They'll be open for 10 days, and then they'll be shut again, and they'll open again in March. And I just like to bring everybody new in at the same time, because it's just nice to all start at the same time. It's nice. I love a new beginning. And so when we're all having a new beginning together at the beginning of a new season, it just feels good. It feels like you've got this whole, we've got a season ahead of us. Let's all get in there together. We're all starting this together and we get going. It's a good feeling doing it like that. Amanda says, I still need to get buttons for mine. Hopefully I can drive next week and get some. I hope so, Amanda. Let's hope so. Amanda's about to have a baby. Tanya said, so Carolina, your yarn smells of sheep. Oh, okay, right. I'm with you now. All right, everybody. That's my postie turning up the driveway. That's the dog barking at her. I will see you, some of you I'll see next week. Same place next week. I'll have something else fun to show you. And the rest of you, if you want to come and join me, I'll be over at Skeins Diaries. You can find that on Facebook and YouTube. It's a live podcast, and I'll be on there in 20 minutes' time. and I'll be chatting to Marie, and we're going to talk about the cardigan and all of this fun stuff, so you'll hear some things again, and we'll ask Marie some more about what yarn is available and how you can get it. All right, everybody, have a really, really lovely week. Don't forget, sign up to the mini mag so that you can get your discount to the new pattern. She will be out tomorrow on Ravelry and on my website, so enjoy. I am looking forward to seeing your cardigans, and in the meantime, happy knitting. I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.